Hi everybody, it's your buddy Brad here, and today we are going to take a look at a variation that I named Parallel. It's a variation that I made. It came about after I had made the intersection variation. The intersection variation just basically makes two lines that go up and down that intersect in the middle. And so I thought, why not have both lines, going parallel? Um, and it actually turned out to be very useful in when using them with uh, bipolar and elliptic type uh, flames, fractals. So here's an example. I think I also used intersection and parallel in this image. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go new from scratch, and we are going to select the variation bipolar. Just type in BIP. That should give you bipolar. We're going to rotate this once. Make sure post is not on. And then we're going to hit add for the first variation, and we're going to select parallel. P-A-R, parallel, right here. We just make a few adjustments here. Come on. I have a lot of gradients, so sometimes it takes a while for my gradients to load. Okay. So to begin with, let's take a look at the variables. So the first is actually the variation amount. When set at 1, we actually need to increase it some, because that actually, if you notice, if we bring the amount down, closer the two lines come together, higher they come apart. So what we want to do, let me zoom in here a little bit. We want to get it just to the edge, this edge right here. That looks pretty gosh dang good to me. Now what we're going to do is make sure post is not enabled. Also post to make sure this is off. And we're going to just shrink down the triangle. And as you see, we have two mini rows kind of started here. And we want to get them to where they're about right here. It's not really a exact science, but this is about where we want it. Because if you get too much, then it starts to cut off. So you see here how we have kind of this, but same thing here. So now once we have that, and just in case you're curious, I shrunk it down to 0.293, 0.293. Okay, so let's take a look at the variables here. So the x1 works on this bottom row. These x2 variables work on the top row. And so the width, cell size, mod 1, mod 2, height, and move are the same for both of them. So I'm just going to go over it with 1. So let's take a look at x1 width. So by default it's set at 5, and that's a pretty good default. If we shrink it down a lot, I'm just going to actually bring it down to 0. You see it kind of really shrinks down everything here. It's still kind of picking up some of the fractal, and also we can increase it too if you want. We can set this to 10. It still looks the same, it's just that it's going off more in infinity. If it sometimes if it's not going all the way out, here, let me see if I can explain it better here. Okay, so if you look here, these lines aren't going out as far as the lines here on this side. And if we set this to 10, we actually get more of the line coming out here than on this side. Of course, you can set it really high, but then it takes away some of down here. So that's why 5 is a pretty good starting point. Next, we have the tile size, and so each space here is actually tiled. This is actually a combination of using tile log and crop. So it actually crops this tile, and this controls the size of that crop. So if we bring it down, we see it's getting closer and closer. The tiles are getting closer and closer together, and when we do that, you'll start to see that the line is actually getting, the width is actually getting shorter too. So that is another time, if you're bringing down the tile size, if you want to have like this line type pattern, you'll want to increase the width. Here we go, that looks good. Okay, and then I'm just going to actually reset these two. And there's a new little trick. If you double click the words here, it will actually reset to the default values. And so let's take a look at the mod 1 and mod 2. They just kind of do some warping of the tiles going up and down within the confines of the row here. So just does some funky things here. It actually brings the rows closer together. And then this kind of spreads out the distance of the rows. Again, they're just used to If you want to just change up the pattern some, you can. And then the X1 height controls how wide this row is. And then of course, especially with the height and the move, if you change them on the X1, you might also want to change them on the X2 just to make everything symmetrical. And then if we want to, so let's see if we set the height to 2, change this to 2. Then we'll also want to increase the number here. Just to give that ribbon type look. And then let's go ahead and reset this. Set this one. Move this back down here. And last we're going to take a look at the X2 width. No, we're not. We're going to look at the X1 move, sorry. And that also just moves the one row up and down. You can actually have it going up above the other one if you want. And then, of course, if you want to just do this on elliptical, not elliptical, elliptic, sorry. Just now we hit post and rotate it. And then we also will want to rotate this too. Not on post. And so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I spend most of my time in the JWildfire open group on Facebook. Feel free to ask me a question there. Reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me on here. Until next time, bye.